OMG, hi, namaste, and welcome back, beautiful people. You're listening to Bollywood Talkies with your host, Minnie. Did you miss me? I know I did. See, so much has happened since I last talked to you guys, both in my own life and, of course, in the entertainment field. So, I'm gonna start with my life, of course. See, ever since I've dropped the first episode, the show has received nothing but love and support from everyone. I've been seeing so many positive comments on the streaming platforms, lots of great reviews, and supportive messages from people known and unknown. And it brings me so much joy to see the show being accepted and enjoyed from people all over the world. So I want to thank everyone who streamed the first episode. Whether you listened to the first 2 minutes or the full episode or just the guest segment, I appreciate it all. Everything you guys have done in the support of the show means so much to me, and I'm so grateful for it all. Okay. Enough with the Senti speech talk. As I said, we have a lot to talk about, and we're gonna get to it slowly but surely. So, first thing on today's agenda, let's talk about Jug Jug Jeeyo. So, I had the opportunity to watch the film in theaters last week, which was a couple of days after the release. And all I have to say was that it was absolutely worth the 2-hour travel that I had to do to watch this film. To introduce, Jug Jug Jeeyo is a family drama directed by Raj Mehta that released on June 24th this year. This featured a very starry ensemble cast with Varun Dhawan, Kiara Advani, Anil Kapoor, Manish Paul, Prajakta Kohli, who makes her debut in this film, and of course the evergreen Neetu Kapoor ji, who makes a comeback as a leading actress after many, many years, which we will get to, don't worry. See, I feel like everything about this movie was incredible, and it did not fall short at any point. There were a few things that I had to take note of because of how much they stood out to me, which I'm going to get straight into. First of all, the casting, extremely on point. And I'm not just talking about the main leads. See, I don't know if it was just me, but I'm guessing, since this casting has already been done before, I may not be the only one seeing this. The actress who played Kiara's mom, Suparna Marwa, actually has quite the resemblance with Kiara. Like, Suparna looks more like Kiara's mother than her actual mother. And like I mentioned, this wasn't the first time. Kiara and Suparna have played mother and daughter in Kabir Singh. So I'm telling you, I'm not the only one that noticed it. Apart from this particular casting, I definitely believe that Jug Jug Jeeyo had the right people playing each character. I was able to see a bit of the characters' personalities match with the actor playing them. It really felt as if each of those people were made to play those roles. Let's look at all of the actors individually, starting with Kiara Advani. I think her as Naina was a job well done. You can see the maturity in her as an actor, and the 8 years of being in this industry has always been an upward slope for her, which we love. If we talk about looks though, she was too hot to handle, especially in that pink sari during Nach Panja. Oh my god. Before our screens and our devices heat up, let's move on to Varun. Oh, my little baby Rohan Nanda from Student is all grown up. I always enjoy Varun's work, especially when he does rom-coms and family dramas like this. But like Kiara, you can really see the growth in his acting. For me, I think especially in the beginning scenes where he's at his bouncer job, you can see that he doesn't want to be there, and he's got this look of dissatisfaction, but at the same time he's like putting the energy. He basically knows, he balanced it extremely well. It was amazing to see. But during those scenes, I really just wanted to hop through the screen and hug him. I always want to do that, but I'm talking about the film here. And what do I say about looks? Once a hot fella, always a hot fella, especially that Sherwani in the engagement scene. Oh, moving on to the mummy papa, Anil Kapoor as Bheem and Neetu Kapoor as Geeta. I think out of all the actors though, Anil Kapoor was the best suited as Bheem, because I like to think that Bheem and Anil have the most similarities as people. especially the jokes. Y'all can't deny that. For me, it was very easy to see Anil as Bheem and Bheem as Anil. Like, there were moments where I was like, yeah, that's definitely an Anil Kapoor thing. So, casting, well done. But Neetu Kapoor ji, I mean, where do we start? There's so much to say. I think firstly, it was so nice and heartwarming to see her on screen in such a character after so long. She brings a certain charm and a certain energy to the screen that is absolutely unexplainable, but it just seems to melt everyone's heart at once. In the theaters, I remember when she first appeared on screen, everyone was so happy to see her that all you could hear in that room was "Aww," which was so cute. But in certain moments, though, I felt like her acting was a little real. And for some reason, I'd like to believe that it had some sort of influence from the recent events that took place in her own life. But then again, it's so inspiring to see how she's gotten up, how she's marched forward with her life, and she's getting out there. She's doing films, she's judging reality shows, she's getting her son married, and now she's gonna be a grandmother. Dadi Neetu Kapoor. How exciting! Well, we love you, Neetu-ji, and we hope to see more of you in the upcoming years. And of course, coming to Manish Paul and the beautiful debutante, Prajakta Kohli, aka Mostly Sane. I think they both have done a fabulous job in their characters, especially considering this was Prajakta's debut. I mean, see, we have seen Manish on stage in the best ways possible, but seeing him on the big screen this time brought so much laughter and joy. But to be honest, more than his acting, I really enjoyed his outfits. I was looking forward to each scene of his because of the clothes he was wearing. I mean, the fashion that they gave him really stood out for me. And I'm not gonna lie, I felt like it was very much inspired by Karan Johar. Was that a coincidence, Team Jug Jug Jeeyo? Do let me know. As for Prajakta though, I think the transition from the YouTube screen to the big screen was absolutely deserving, and I think she did great as Guinea. I'm sure all her fans are extremely happy and proud of her, just like I am. However, if I had to sum up the movie overall, I'd say that it felt like a big Hindi serial summed up in 2.5 hours. Because there were like so many ups and downs in the story, something was messing up, but something was doing well, and then something was messing up again. But I think the background score really added to that vibe, especially during the Dupatta song, I think, where, on one hand, Kuku was in the club, while Naina was forced to have that puja done on her. It was absolutely amazing, nail-biting, I must say. But I think the direction by Raj Mehta, too good. I honestly wouldn't mind seeing more films like this. But then again, why should you only listen to my thoughts? Right? See, I got in touch with some fans all over the world who have watched Jug Jug Jeeyo, and I asked them to share their favorite moments of the film. To some of the listeners who haven't watched the film yet, there are spoilers up ahead, so listen at your own risk. Let's start at Instagram. At Kiara Advani X Cafe says, my favorite moment is the scene with Geeta and Naina by the lakeside, where Geeta talks about broken relationships. And honestly, I agree. I think that scene deserves a special mention by itself. And I'm pretty sure not just me, but everyone that watched the movie and felt really good about it would have to say the same. It was truly relatable and definitely heartfelt. Heading to Twitter, at Mimi Saini says, I like the fight in the bedroom scene. Kiara was damn good in that. Yup, the energy levels in that scene, too high. Everyone was super anxious to see what was gonna happen. I definitely think that not only Kiara but Varun also did an amazing job. And a good friend of mine said his favorite scene was the entire film. Same, bro. Same. But overall, the direction, storyline, and of course the actors were definitely a 10 out of 10 in Jug Jug Jeeyo in my opinion. Sending a big cheer to everyone involved in the film. And if you guys have more comments, do let me know via social media. Okay, like I stated in the beginning of this episode, a lot of things happened in these past 2 weeks, especially in the industry. To start with, Alia's pregnant? Like, hello? Okay. I am honestly so happy for her, right? This is another feather being added to her cap. And I think she's gonna be an amazing mother to that cute little kid. And I think we all know that baby is gonna be really cute because, let's be honest, Alia's cute face mixed with the Kapoor genes, literal magic. But while I am extremely and genuinely happy for her, I'm also still a little confused and unable to really process the information. And I'll tell you why. Like I mentioned in the first episode, I've loved Alia since student, right? She was 18 when the film came out, I was 11, and in the last 10 years, I feel like I've grown with her. So for me, it's like finding out the kid you went to high school with is pregnant, married, while you're still nowhere close to that bar. Like, we're all kids. How are you gonna have a kid while you're still a kid? But then again, that's just me. Once I see the maternity photos, maybe I might just be able to process it. But either way, Alia, here sending all my love and best wishes to both you and Ranbir, the newest parents on the block. I love you guys. Oh, I got an idea. Let's talk baby names. Hey, keep an eye out on my social media for that feature, okay? But speaking of 10 years, guess who completed 30 in Bollywood? That's right, Shah Rukh Khan, baby! See, ever since Deewana in 1992, the king has been ruling the industry and has been no less than a blessing to our lives. With over 95 film and TV appearances, numerous awards, and millions of fans all over the world, Shah Rukh Khan is not just a Bollywood legend, but a wonder of the world. If we talk favorite movies though, I can't just choose one. But my favorite era will always be the early 2000s. I mean, that was my first memory of him. What about you guys? If you love Shah Rukh, which is your favorite movie of his? But to be honest, I feel blessed to have been born in a time where I get to be part of his world. Somehow. But we love you, Shah Rukh, to infinity and beyond. Y'all wanna know who else loves Shah Rukh Khan? Karan Johar, who's back with season 7 of Koffee with Karan. Oh, I mean, by the time you guys listen to this episode, y'all would have already finished watching the first episode of Koffee. So please leave me the reviews. You know we're gonna talk about that. You know, I honestly didn't think that the show was gonna come back, considering the amount of hate it got in the last 2 years. But I'm not complaining. I love Karan, yes, but it's really because of this show that I admire him so much. I really enjoyed the way he talks and the way he converses with his guests. The tone, the vocabulary, conjecture. Listen, I have learned more big words from his show than anywhere else. But what I'm looking forward to most, apart from the pairs, is whether or not he's going to talk about the things that happen in these 2 years, if you know what I mean. Apart from the listed guests, rumors suggest that beauty queens Aishwarya Rai Bachchan and Sushmita Sen will guest star on one of the episodes. How true is that? Who knows? But not only that, Kangana Ranaut is gonna make an appearance as well. Talk about spilling the tea. But overall, I'm all here for this show. Hopefully someday I get to be on that couch as well. Catch me manifesting right after today's episode. But which pair are you guys looking forward to see? Let me know through the comments. You know, it kind of sucks that my bestie, Arjun Kapoor, is not a special guest this time. I mean, as far as I know, of course. I definitely loved his episode features, especially with Anushka and Katrina. But if not sipping or spilling the coffee, we will still be able to see him on the big screen on July 22nd in Ek Villain Returns, along with Tara Sutaria, John Abraham, and Disha Patni. See, the trailer dropped this week, along with the song Galyan Returns. Well, I can't say that I am impressed. I am curious to see how it all plays out. See, I'm not too big on sequels in the first place, like I told you guys, but considering how well the OG Ek Villain did, you know, the one with Siddharth Malhotra, Shraddha Kapoor, and Ritesh Deshmukh, I think this is not something not just me, but all the OG fans are curious to see. We know that there's a lot of fighting, very much double trouble, but I think the good thing in this is that we weren't really able to tell who the villain actually is in this. Or maybe we were, or I was just dumb enough. Either way, let's find out. So yeah, quite a lot of things happening in Bollywood. I can't wait to see what happens next. Now, for today's guest segment, the person who I'm about to have an amazing conversation with, I have gotten to know her because of Indian entertainment. It's been, 8 years since we've known each other, and the friendship has very clearly come a long way. But at the end of the day, the bond we have today would have not been developed if it weren't for a certain somebody from the industry, which we will talk about. But for now, she, just like me, enjoys desi entertainment. She's gorgeous and has a really sweet and kind personality. So let's welcome one of my really good friends, Palvi Thakur. Hello there.
Hi, Minnie. Thank you so much for having me on your show today. I'm super excited to begin this.
I'm so excited. I think this is the first time we're having a face-to-face conversation, even though it's virtual.
Yes, our very first face-to-face.
Which I would like to tell the listeners, me and Pallavi have actually never met in these last 8 years. This is the first time we're having a face-to-face conversation, but we have spoken on the phone before. But she is absolutely amazing, and I would love to meet her someday in person.
Thank you.
So whenever I do come, that side, we will definitely plan something.
For sure. That's definitely going to happen one day since our friendship has stuck around for so many years.
Yeah, I agree. Definitely. So, like I said, you don't live in India. I don't live in India. Neither were we, I think, raised or born there as well. So, having grown up outside of, the root country, how easy or difficult was it to, really keep a connection with your South Asian culture and the roots?
My experience was relatively easier than many other people, but it was also had its difficulties. For example, I was born in India, but I came here when I was very, very young, so around 3 years of age. I knew the Hindi and Punjabi language, so that was really kind of, a switch for me as a child, all of a sudden I'm in a new country. And I had immigrant parents. Both were immigrants. They both were very much connected to their roots, of course. And me growing up, that's been a huge part of my life. Hinduism has been a huge part of my life. On top of that, as we're speaking about today, Bollywood, that played a big role in me staying connected to our language, Hindi, that played a huge role. Having that connection, I see on screen people that look like me. That was the speciality for me, in Bollywood growing up. And, it was definitely very, easy for me, in that sense, to stay connected. But at the same time, of course, I'm not in India, so I don't have that sort of strong cultural the complete package of that, so
yes, talking about the complete package, I think I do understand what you mean, because there's always a 50-50 growing up outside. It's sometimes you don't feel, or you're not made to feel completely Indian, or sometimes you're not made to feel completely American in your case.
I had a phase of that, yep.
Yeah, so I think that is definitely the hard part, especially when you get that from the people from your own country, going back summer vacations, and all of your family members are she's American, she's not really Indian. So what was that like? Have you ever faced things like that, and how did you respond to it?
It was, like I said, I already knew Hindi and everything, so that aspect was not difficult to communicate. Other than that, I was able to relate with everyone pretty well, because I went to India literally every other year. I know how to act when I'm in India. Yes, when I went to the village side, my grandmother had a different set of rules for me. If I even wore shorts, it was the issue in the village side, right? But she wanted, she wanted me to wear full Indian outfits and stuff. And I was it's really hot over here. I cannot wear that, so that was those things were the difference, honestly. The small things there.
Yeah, don't put me in like a salwar kameez the whole day. I mean, I love call
Right.
call me during Diwali. I'm going to put on all the salwar kameez
Oh,
that you can
yes.
give me, but not during the
Same
budget.
here. No, for sure.
Now, you mentioned in your previous like answer that you use Bollywood to also connect to the Indian culture, to the Indian roots. And since we're talking, we cannot obviously like forget to mention that one person because of which we are friends today. We have to mention Siddharth Nigam. For those that don't know or who do know, Siddharth Nigam is a popular TV actor who made his debut in Doom 3. He played the younger version of Amir Khan's characters, and he also went on to play King Ashoka's role in Chakravartin Ashok Samrat that featured on Colors, the TV show. And I think that was the show that really put him through and gave him his major breakout. He was the little boy, the 13-year-old boy with the washboard abs and the colored eyes and, swinging from here to there because he was doing this amazing, style of gymnastics. And he, basically had every 13-year-old girl swooning. Me and Pallavi, amongst others, were some of those girls as well. So let's talk about this phase. This was 2014. What was it like for you? What was the first thing that came to your head when you saw this kid on screen?
Yes, obviously, like we talked about, I was connected to Bollywood, and just like that, I watched Indian shows in my household. And a lot of those Indian shows were historical dramas that we would watch. And so one day, just Ashoka came on, and my mom was like, we have to watch this, right? For educational purposes. And me being 14, 15 years old, I was like, this is interesting, let's watch it. And, I think Siddharth's entrance in the show was so, I don't know, it was very impactful. Just on top of that, he's doing a historical drama. So, obviously, our Rajas and back then were very strong characters and very impressive people in our history. So that was something that really pulled me in. And from there, it was honestly history, everything that happened, at us meeting and all that. So I think that was very impressive for me, and I definitely became a fan at that age. I was like, who is this guy?
It was a good experience though, but I'm glad you mentioned that it wasn't just the good looks that we picked up from the show.
Yes.
It was also the culture, it was also the stories. I did find myself becoming very interested as well in the story of not only just King Ashoka, but also with Chanakya and the places of birth and all
Me
that.
too.
It just felt like I've seen this on TV and I really want to see it in real life. So I think the impact, as you mentioned, that they left on us, apart from the fangirling, I think it was really nice to have that. So I think we have to give a major shout out to the makers of that show because they did well. They did great.
Yes.
But now let's talk about the actual fangirl phase. We've met a lot of people. We made online friends, even though our Indian parents said not to make online friends.
Yes.
But what was it like meeting all these people from all over the world?
So this was honestly, I'm glad that you said it like that because that makes me realize how, at that age, I was not exposed to the online world, to be honest. Siddharth was truly one of the first actors that I was like, I want to follow him and I want to have a fan page for this person. I was very young as well, so I wanted to do that. And from there, it was like, this guy has so many fans. I was like, oh my god. And seeing that, I made so many friends, all these other girls, and we kind of bonded over this. And then it was just really good friendships we made, and I met you through the fan page. I met Sushmita, I think maybe you remember, Kushi, all these girls, and it was like, wow, I felt like I had a whole family across the world of girls, I think that's just very special. It was a very special time for me, opening up to the world, the online world,
That is absolutely true. Did you ever feel like meeting them? Because like I know this happens to like a lot of us, but did you actually like have plans to go out and like meet some of us? Because I wanted to as much as I could, but like somehow like for me the main reason was like, how am I gonna tell my parents that I have a friend sitting in the States and that I met online? Like, how am I gonna meet her? Like, it was hard for me. So like, how, like, was it the same scenario in your case?
Yeah, I feel like we all had the same scenario, to be very honest. And I had the same exact thing. I wanted to go to India. I wanted to meet Siddharth, obviously. I literally had a friend in New York, in other states as well, in other countries. And some of our friends got to meet Siddharth, which we thought was pretty cool. You got to meet him? What?
Yes, I did.
Oh, yes, you did. I just remembered.
Yes.
Some of us got to meet him, and I don't know if many of us girls met each other, because I have not met anybody, so...
I haven't met anybody, but yes, I have met Siddharth Nigam along with a couple of other fans. And it was a great experience. I'm not gonna lie. But I did let him know that, hey, we met all these people because of you. So we want to say, like, thank you. So he was like, yeah, that's, really amazing. And I'm so glad that I was able to do that. So here's sending all of my love for you guys. But yeah, it was an amazing experience. And talking about Siddharth himself, he was so sweet. He was being so caring. Like, hey, do you want to sit here? Or can I get you something? Like that kind of like really nice... the gentleman type of thing. And at that time I was like, I'm gonna marry this man, like shit, let's go. But obviously it didn't work out like that. But I'm still like, I think even coming out of the Siddharth Nigam phase, it was definitely something that was really special for me. And I think all the fans would be able to say the same. So yeah, is there any message that you want to give to Siddharth and to his current fans right now?
I mean, honestly, I wish the best for him. If as you said, he's a gentleman and he's very caring. I wish all the best for his future. And I feel, as for his fans, like, you guys are supporting a really great guy, so keep up with it. And I'm sure they're also enjoying the fangirling process that we went through, We were the OG, though, like, fans. We were the very first.
We were like all Siddharth Nigam girlies. We're sending you much love, and yes, as Palvi said, you are standing and you are being the fangirl of a really nice person. And Siddharth Nigam, if you are listening to this, we're sending you lots of love and all the best for your future. But apart from like Siddharth Nigam, how has Indian entertainment have any influence on your life?
It played I'm not saying it played a huge role for my whole life, but I guess you would say my childhood and my teenage years, Bollywood played a huge role in my life because, like I said, I not only did I come from India at a young age, I also had a lot of there was a lot of things I dealt with early on, a lot of problems in my life I dealt with that people don't know about. One of them would be bullying, in school at an early age. And it was honestly Bollywood, like when I would watch the films and stuff, it allowed me to escape my current situation that I was in. Not only that, like seeing Indian actresses, like with their style and everything, it would inspire me, and I would genuinely say today the style I have, it comes from that exact, like the Bollywood actresses. I'm being like an Indian girl who knows how to style herself as an Indian, that suits me. So in that aspect, it's played a huge role. I mean, that's truly a big role in itself, how I present myself in society,
That's absolutely correct, and we feel the same way as well. Now, we're going to wrap up the conversation part of this guest segment, and we're going to move on to something really, really fun.
Yes.
We have a quiz and we have a rapid fire. So now, Palvi, we give you the chance to choose. You have to do both, so you can't really escape that, but you get to choose which one do you want to do first.
Okay. Let's start with the quiz first.
Okay, perfect. Are you ready? Do you think you have enough Bollywood knowledge to answer the following questions correctly?
Oh God. If it's a certain era, then yes, but not all eras. So let's see.
Alrighty, let's go. Palvi, are you ready? This is your first question.
Okay.
In the film Om Shanti Om, how does Deepika Padukone's character Shanti Priya die?
Easy question. She dies because the Arjun Rampal, I forgot the name of his character, he literally sets her on fire and she dies like that. I shouldn't be laughing, but it's just like, yeah, that's what he does. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that is correct. Shanti Priya does die in the fire along with... Hey, but it had us crying as well. Crying. It did the job. Alrighty. Next question. Which popular Bollywood actor is known for having an extra thumb?
Oh, Hrithik Roshan, my childhood crush. Come on.
Oh, you should. God gave him the extra thumb and the extra hotness. Yes, period. Okay, now we're gonna drift off from the movies and we're gonna dive a little deep into like some TV shows. So the third question is, what is the name of the two bahus in the popular TV show Saath Nibhana Saathiya?
I don't know about shows.
You can give a guess. You can give a guess.
I don't know Nandini.
Oh, okay. You want to give another answer because there are two.
Nandini and Priya.
Okay, Nandini and Priya, we wish, but Saath Nibhana Saathiya, the two main bahus in the show were Gopi Bahu and Rashi. I think it was...
I knew that, but I didn't at the same time.
Yeah, it happens, it's fine. Okay, now this is something that I'm pretty sure you would know. We're gonna be matching the Nora Fatehi featured song to the movie. We're gonna start with Satyamev Jayate.
Oh, Saki, right?
No, that's not it. She has done Saki, but not for that film. Okay, how about I give you the other two movies and then you guess.
Okay. Sure.
The other movie is Stree.
Oh yes, I know. Kamaria.
That is correct.
That one, yes.
Correct. And the last one is Batla House.
Oh, this one was Saki, right? Yes.
This one was Saki.
And then what was the first one you said again?
The featured song in Satyamev Jayate by Nora Fatehi was Dilbar. The remake. Right. Yes, definitely. But it's okay. You got 2 out of 3.
Got 2 out of 3.
And the last question for the Bollywood quiz. Name the popular film which Hema Malini has played a double role in.
Yes, I know this one. Sita and Geeta, right?
That is correct, Sita or Geeta. So
I feel like I know everything now.
No, but you did amazing, Pallavi. That was the last question. You missed 1 or 2 questions, but I think you still did great and you definitely still deserve the prize.
Yay.
Since you chose to do the quiz first, we're going to be moving on with the rapid fire.
All right.
So these questions are completely based on your opinion. You don't have to feel like there is a correct answer because every answer you give is correct. So are you ready for the first question?
Ready.
Alrighty. What was the first movie you remember watching on the big screen?
This is as far as I can remember. Hrithik Roshan's first movie. I do not remember the name. Kaho Na Pyar Hai. I'm pretty sure that was the very first.
Yes, so Kaho Na Pyar Hai. Yes. Alright, next question. Which Desi character, TV or movie, do you feel like you are most like?
Honestly, I know for a fact that there are some characters out there that remind me of myself, but right now the first person honestly that comes to mind is, I'm just gonna say Indhum to, Aishwarya Rai's role. I think you might remember she's very badass and keeps secrets and stuff. So she's a Scorpio, so also
yes.
It's just the way she is, very badass and stuff, very strong and
so Suneri, that's her name. Suneri, yes.
Suneri, yes.
Okay. Third question, a little spicy. What is your unpopular opinion on Indian entertainment?
Unpopular opinion. I'll keep this one simple. A lot of the actors we have in Bollywood are not very representative of Indians as a whole, in the sense that they look extremely perfect, right, as Indians, And that's why I praise the South Indian industry more, because we see more skin colors, we see more hairstyles. In Bollywood, it's more like fair skin, and you know what I mean? Like, it's just fair skin and perfect, same features and everything. And I get that it's very pretty, I love it, but it's not exactly realistic when representing Indians all over the country.
Okay, so realistic images. Yeah, makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty. Fourth question, who do you look up to from the industry?
This is easy for me. I love Priyanka Chopra, like, a lot. I love her confidence. It's absolutely so attractive to me. Her, as well as, of course, Nora. I love Nora's energy. Literally any song, like, she kills it. And she brings, like, a element of, I would say, she's grown up in the West, right? She brings in that element that I can relate to. I feel like I relate to it, like being an American. So, and then mixing Indian and Arabic, she does it very well.
Yeah, I wish I had the belly like Nora Fatehi. Oh, dear Lord.
Yes.
A Hindi song that is currently on repeat for you.
I've been listening to the song. It's called Balma from Khiladi 786. Yes.
And the last question, which is something really powerful. If you were given the chance to come up with the cast for a Desi film on women power, which 5 powerful females from the entertainment industry would you pick? Could be movies, TV, or any model.
I love this question so much. Priyanka Chopra first. Kangana, very strong woman. Kind of blanking out a little bit right now with all the actresses.
You can add Nora as well.
Okay, I'll add her on there because her life story is also very empowering. I'm gonna say Malaika Arora.
Ooh.
And then for the last person, I'm not sure. Do you have any ideas you can give me?
There's like so many of them.
I'm gonna say Anushka Shetty from she's from the South Indian films. I like her a lot.
Ooh, okay. So we have Priyanka Chopra, we have Kangana Ranaut, we have Nora Fatehi, Malaika Arora, and Anushka Shetty. That's an amazing cast. I would Hindi filmmakers, if you're hearing this podcast, sign these people up for a movie ASAP. Let's go. That's what I would spend my money on. Well, Palvi, that brings us to the end of this guest segment and, of course, the end of the second episode. I want to thank you for taking out the time to be my guest today. Did you enjoy it? Because I know I did.
I enjoyed it so much. Honestly, like some of these questions, and so I was super excited, and I enjoyed our conversation today a lot. I hope everyone else also enjoys hearing about our many phases and Siddharth, and hopefully they can relate to us today, you know.
Yes, of course, especially the current Siddharth Nigam fans. But thank you so much, Palvi, once again. This truly means a lot.
Oh, thank you for having me.
And to the listeners, I hope you all enjoyed this episode. Give it a whole bunch of likes, share it with all your friends and family, and don't forget to leave your comments all over the streaming platforms, and of course our Instagram at Bollywood Talkies with the extra S behind because we are extra. I will see you guys with another episode really, really soon, so stay tuned and keep your notifications on. Until then, this is Minnie signing off. Namaste, goodbye, and thank you for listening to Bollywood Talkies.